Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman, your car, our passion. And by Dorman Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures. Visit dormanday.ky.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local environment. This is where we address the topics that matter. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman, and welcome to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we have some open line in the first, I'm going to say 30 minutes of the show, but I guess it's about 27 minutes now. We started a couple minutes late here. No big deal. It happens. Take your time on the roads today. It is a little wet out there. It might look a little deceiving, but I know that it was lightly raining, a little bit misty out there. So take your time as you're going into work, as you're going into school, and enjoy the drive in. Thanks for tuning in to me. I have a couple of topics to discuss and reflect on, but I am open to hearing your thoughts this morning on whatever you might want to talk about. So give me a call and let me know what's on your mind, or even just to share a positive, upful vibe. The numbers to call are 1-800-534-8255. That's courtesy of Flo. 949-6990, 949-8037, or you can WhatsApp call or message us at 925-3261. So there is a lot to talk about, especially as it impacts business and community, and some of it isn't the most positive given the robberies that we had this week. So let me first shine a light on some of the good things that are going on globally and locally. We are 5 days into February, and I know the majority of us are happy that the never-ending month of January is over. Some people called it the year of January. To me, it's the never-ending month of January. It's almost an entire season of its own. A lot of us we're stretching our dollars until January pay, and some of us are still stretching our dollars into February's pay. And I'm thinking those of us who cannot budget, we can't budget well, or we can't seem to stick to a budget, and I'm definitely guilty of that. I wonder if we need to think about setting more realistic savings or budgeting goals. And on the goal tip, I want to know how people are doing with their New Year's goals. Do you have any? Are you on track? Did you fall off before mid-January? Because, I spoke to two colleagues yesterday, and they both said that they lost sight of their goals by January 15th. You barely gave yourself a chance. January 15th, that's mid-Jan. They were done. They were off track with their goals. So, that's something that a lot of people go through, and we're going to be talking about goal setting in the next segment, actually. Goals, slumps, and second chances. So really, though, how are you doing on your goals? If you do have any, call in and share with us, because you never know who you're inspiring. And you never know who might be able to help you out. So I would love to hear it. I would love to hear if you set some goals. I can tell you that I did not. I feel like there's so much going on. And I'm not one of the people, or one of those people that sets goals kind of only once for the beginning of the year. I like to set goals for myself throughout the year, whatever kind of project or thing that I have in mind that I want to accomplish. So maybe I'm just not the best at a New Year's goal, but I get other things done throughout the year. So are you like me? Let me know if you have any goals that you've set this year and how you're doing with them. The numbers again are 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, and you can WhatsApp call or WhatsApp text us at 925-3261. Okay, one of the big things happening, and it's happening this weekend, this Sunday, we do have the Super Bowl. I don't know what year it is for the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is something big, but this is a big year because I will be honest and say it might have. Okay, we got the Seattle Seahawks and we got the New England Patriots. I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm a New York Giants fan. So if you know the history between the New York Giants and the Patriots, there, Eli Manning twice beat Tom Brady for the Super Bowl wins there, especially when the Patriots were undefeated one season. So Eli Manning kind of held off Tom Brady from getting two extra rings there and instead brought that to the Giants. Anyways, that's my team. The Giants, we are not quite on track yet to even make the playoffs. Maybe we will next year. But however, in November, when they played my team, when the Patriots played my team, I developed a strong dislike for somebody on the Patriots, very strong dislike. And I also said, man, the way this team is playing, they are hungry. And I think they're gonna go to the Super Bowl. I think they're a really good contender. And sometimes I wish I didn't say these things because it came true. It came true. The Patriots are going, and the Seattle Seahawks are gonna be there as well. Now I am from the West Coast, so Seattle is just underneath Vancouver. It's about a 3-hour drive, maybe 2.5 if you're going a little faster than you should. So, in my heart, for the West Coast, and because I really don't want the Patriots to win because of my strong dislike for this one player who really tried to take out my quarterback, I'm going for the Seattle Seahawks. So if you have your thoughts and prayers on a particular team, let me know who that is. Which team are you gunning for? Which team are you hoping wins? And for sure, I really do hope it's the Seattle Seahawks. I'm tired of the Patriots. They got to go. So this is where I'm at. Talk to me next week and we'll see how I'm feeling about how the Super Bowl goes this weekend. It is on Sunday. Check it out. There's a lot of establishments are having really big Super Bowl parties, so you can either enjoy it in the comfort of your home or check out one of the bars and restaurants across the island and have yourself a great time. It's always a good event. And Bad Bunny, who will be performing in the halftime show, such a controversial artist, apparently, to be in the halftime show, although he is American. And he actually did perform with Shakira, when Shakira and J-Lo also, Shakira's also not American, but that wasn't a big deal when Shakira performed. He performed in the Super Bowl then. Shakira brought him out in one of her songs. So this isn't necessarily his first Super Bowl appearance. And he did win Album of the Year at the Grammys, and is the very first album that's entirely in Spanish or in another language that won Album of the Year. So that is pretty amazing. So Bad Bunny, 10 years ago, was working a minimum wage job and now is one of the most successful artists around the world. So that's what you got to look forward to for Super Bowl. It should be absolutely an amazing Super Bowl. I can't wait to watch this one. It's going to be a great game. 2 really tough teams. And as I was talking about some goals earlier, right? Well, you've got to be making some major goals in life to be competing in the Winter Olympics. And that kicks off tomorrow, the 6th to the 22nd of February, and we have some Caribbean countries set to compete in Milano Cortina. There's Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Haiti, and Puerto Rico. You don't always see some small tropical islands represented in the Winter Olympics, so a big shout out to our Caribbean neighbors competing. There's Jamaica in the Winter Olympics for bobsledding. We know they've been there before, but they are back. And they also have some athletes in alpine skiing. There's Trinidad and Tobago competing in bobsledding and making their debut in alpine skiing. And Haiti is expected to field competitors also in alpine skiing and cross-country skiing. And Puerto Rico is going to have women representing in the skeleton, which I had to look that up because I was like, what is the skeleton? So that's a sliding sport in which you slide head first down a slide on a small shed. On a small sled. So imagine you're on a slide, but instead of just, sitting and going down like a normal person would, you're going down head first and you're on a very, very small sled. It looks absolutely wild. They go so fast. I would love to try it. This is the exact kind of adrenaline rush that's made for me. So that's what the women's skeleton race is that Puerto Rico is going to be represented in. All right, so that's the Olympics. Kicks off tomorrow until the 22nd of February. And I love the Olympics. I love watching big competitions like that. So the world's best athletes. I love watching that. Also, on Tuesday, February 17th, millions of people around the world are only just making their New Year in mid-February with the Lunar New Year, also known as Chinese New Year. For me, I think I've always just called it Chinese New Year. So for those of you who gave up on your January New Year goals, yes, I'm bringing us back to the goals again, or maybe you haven't set any, just like me, or for the overachievers looking to do more and want a fresh start, you have Lunar New Year to help you out. So you can set your goals for Lunar New Year if you haven't done so, or if you fell off, you can start again. Brush yourself off and try again. So some fun facts about the Lunar New Year. It kicks off the Year of the Horse. It's based on the lunar calendar, so the dates change every year, usually late January to mid-Feb. It's celebrated across China, Vietnam, Korea, Malaysia, Singapore, and by the Chinese and East Asian communities worldwide. The themes center on renewal, luck, family, intention setting, and fresh starts. So there we go again with the goal setting. The celebrations traditionally last 15 days, ending with the Lantern Festival. I mean, that sounds like a party that I would enjoy. 15 days? I could do that. I could do that, no problem. February is also Black History Month, originating in the U.S., but observed in many countries globally. So February honors the contributions and history of the African diaspora. And I've always been a little bit surprised that Cayman doesn't do a lot around Black History Month, because much of Cayman's present identity, culture, and opportunities, they're deeply rooted in the experiences, resilience, and contributions of Black people locally and across the diaspora. So what are your thoughts on that? Should Cayman do more in terms of Black History Month? I would like to see more. Turning locally, we do have the Arts Festival. That's presented by K Musica, and it kicks off this evening through to Saturday, February 14th. And the festival brings a really vibrant mix of world-class music and performing arts right here in Cayman, in Grand Cayman, showcasing international artists and local talent. I really like how they merge the local musicians with their international artists and do musical pieces together. I think that's a really beautiful thing. And it must be an amazing experience for your young local musicians here to get on a stage and perform with some of the world's best. So I'm going to go into this year's lineup, but I think we got to take our first commercial break. So I'm going to tell you about the Cayman Arts Festival lineup right after our break here.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Captain Harris L. Bodden,
CPM 1888 to 1972.
Like most early Caymanians, Captain Harris sought a livelihood on the high seas, completing his years there as a master mariner. In 1926, he retired from sea and, with a young family to provide for, became a police officer. For most of his career, he was the lone law officer on Cayman Brac. During his many years of service, in addition to keeping the peace, Captain Harris served as customs officer, postmaster for the eastern sections of Cayman Brac, bailiff, prison officer and guard, census taker, and lighthouse keeper, in all of which he was ably supported by his wife, Miss Ella Nee Jackson, and their 6 children. In the absence of a police car, he carried out his patrols on a bicycle. During the aftermath of the 1932 hurricane, he distributed overseas donations of food, clothing, and medication, and arranged burials for the dead. Captain Harris was a man of stature who carried himself with authority, yet dispensed justice with kindness, sympathy, and wisdom.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market. This Ash Wednesday, February 18th, celebrate harvesting harmony at the 57th Annual Cayman Islands Agriculture Show from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. Food, farming, culture, and community come together at the grounds in Lower Valley. Hosted by the Cayman Islands Agricultural Society and the Ministry of Agriculture. This one-day extravaganza is packed with Caymanian pride, family fun, and great prizes to be won. Don't miss it. Follow Cayman Agriculture on Facebook and Instagram for all of the details.
Sponsored by the Department of Agriculture, Pepsi, Quality Feed, Ale Thompson's, Terra Vegetation and Maintenance, and Radio Cayman.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
All right, welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. And if you're just tuning in, I was giving you a bit of rundown of what's happening, exciting things, good things that are happening globally. And I turned to locally, and I just started talking about Cayman Arts Festival, which is presented by K Musica. And it kicks off this evening and ends on Saturday, February 14th. Now, the lineup, it includes some concerts and performances which span genres from jazz to rock and classical and flamenco music. I love a little flamenco. So this year's lineup includes a jazz concert by the popular Jazz en Trance Big Band, which opens the festival tonight, featuring a blend of jazz, Latin, and Caribbean influences. Then there's a performance by the CAF Youth Camerata on the 7th of February, highlighting the island's rising young musicians in collaborations with former students from the prestigious, I can't really say this, Yehudi Menuhin School. It's a really renowned music school. When we did have representatives from K Musica on the buzz with us, they were telling me this. If you've heard of Juilliard, it's like Juilliard to the 1,000th power. So there's also a high-energy rock concert on 8th of February with Cayman's own Future Phobia rock band, joined by the Royals from the Netherlands. So that should be interesting, and I think they're going to do a bit of a mashup. There's also a concert by Caymanian artist Jaden Hanna on the 12th of February, blending music, storytelling, and film elements. And you had to have been around to some cultural events over the past few years and seen Jaden's rise in singing and performance. She's doing absolutely wonderful. I believe she just finished her degree. I think she went to Berkeley and finished a music degree, I think. I might be getting that wrong. But anyways, she's absolutely a phenomenal performer and singer. So looking forward to what Jaden's going to bring us on the 12th of February. There's also more performances, including dance and rhythm-driven kind of shows like Miguel Vargas Flamenco Dance Theater, which is later on in the festival, and it ends with that flamenco performance at the Hartwell on Valentine's night. So that's a spicy little event to enjoy for a date night. I really highly recommend you do that if it's not sold out already. So it really should be beautiful, and flamenco is absolutely mesmerizing. The music alone is wonderful, and just the dance is mesmerizing. So the festival not only entertains, but it does support music education and youth development in Cayman. You can get tickets for these performances. Some might be sold out, as I mentioned, but you can visit CaymanArtsFestival.com to get your tickets there. And yes, you can get your tickets there. All right, we just talked about, or heard the Ag Show commercial on, right? You just heard that a couple minutes ago. So Cayman is also gearing up for Ash Wednesday, 18th of February, when the agricultural show takes place at the Stacey Watler Pavilion in Lower Valley. We're in the 57th year. That sounds wild to me, 57 years. So the event celebrates the deep connection between Cayman's culture and agricultural roots under the theme Harvesting Harmony, Cayman Culture and Agriculture. So it's from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., and the show, it brings families, farmers, artisans, food producers, and community members from across the islands for a full day of activities, exhibits, and entertainment, and great food, of course. We can't forget about that. Some people just go to the Ag Show just for the food. You see them walking out with like 8 trays of takeout containers. So there's going to be local produce and livestock displays. There's going to be the arts and crafts and food stalls, as I just mentioned, live music, heritage exhibits, and some kid-friendly funs. You got the pony rides and interactive games and some animals you can pet and take pictures with. There's also opportunities to meet local farmers and artisans and learn about farming practices and support homegrown businesses. It's always a really good time. It's always usually a very hot time. It could be a little dusty. So definitely make sure you got your sunscreen when you're out there. Be well hydrated. You might just want to bring your own water to make sure you're all right. And you want to get there early if you have specific plants you want. So remember, the new road is open. And I only used it on Heroes Day for the first time, and I was amazed how fast I got to East End. Extremely fast. So remember to also enter the raffle for the Ag Show. It's $25, but your $25 entry gets you into the raffle. I think you can also buy extra raffle tickets for $25 each too. So you could win one of 2 $10,000 grand prizes. So that's a pretty good thing right there. I'm going to turn to tourism. So there's some news that affects business here, our economy in Cayman. It's good news for the Cayman Islands. It includes a major tourism boost in the first quarter of 2026 with expanded airlifts. So this information is in summary and based on an article published February 2nd on travelandworldtour.com. So Cayman is preparing for a significant increase in winter airlift in early 2026, with new data showing inbound flight capacity expected to rise by approximately 18.1%. That's going to be between January and April. Now, that increase translates to nearly 359,000 inbound airline seats, which marks a very strong first quarter travel outlook. The expansion is being driven largely by North American and Canadian markets, which continue to be Cayman's pretty much some of our most important sources of stayover visitors. And airlines are adding frequency on existing routes rather than introducing experimental service, which tourism officials apparently say is a strong signal of sustained demand and confidence in the destination. I mean, we know that. We know we have a strong tourism product, right? We don't mess up with that. So from the United States, there's several key gateway cities that are seeing notable increases. So from Chicago, there will be 98 additional flights operated by American Airlines and United Airlines. From Miami, one of Cayman's busiest routes, there will be 129 additional flights shared between American Airlines and Cayman Airways. And I really hope those American airline flights are at night, because I find it super wild that somehow American cannot get in here after 1 p.m. So it'll be really lovely to see some late evening flights from American, like we used to have right before COVID. I don't know what happened. From Fort Lauderdale, there's airlines with 79 additional flight operated by JetBlue and Spirit Airlines, and that's for your a little bit more low cost and low cost, I should say, travel options. So yes, Cayman Airways is also adding additional flights as well, not just American, and that's coming from the Miami hub. Canada is also playing a major role with Porter Airlines expanding service with 66 additional flights from Toronto and 40 additional flights from Ottawa. I had no idea that Porter Airlines flew here, or they're beginning to. So that was news to me, so that's good to know. Altogether, these increases reflect a strategy to improve air connectivity, making it easier for visitors to reach Grand Cayman. And it's going to be a huge boost for the economy because it's supporting hotels, restaurants, the attractions, the small tourism-dependent businesses, and just your smaller businesses across the islands. So I think that's a good note for Cayman. So the airlift expansion follows a strong tourism performance in 2025. And, we welcomed more than 450,000 stayover visitors, which is a great result. And if forecasts and trends continue, it's looking like 2026 could see close to 500,000 stayover visitors. So I think that's a pretty good indication of what's going to happen with tourism in these next few months here. I only got a couple minutes left, so I just want to touch on the robberies that did happen this past week. So it's not the best news, but it's also important to businesses and our community. So we have been seeing some brazen robbery incidents by what is alleged to be the same group of thieves. So the police published a statement yesterday updating the public on these incidents and can be found on rcips.ky. The press release reads, police responded to 2 separate robbery incidents on Tuesday night, 3rd of February, one in the Savannah area of Boddentown and the other one on Walkers Road in Georgetown. The first robbery took place at a store on Hearst Road. It is reported that just before 8:30 p.m., 2 men entered the store armed with knives and stole a quantity of cash and a bottle of wine before fleeing the location. You gotta have that wine. Oh, that was not in the press release. One suspect is described as of medium build, and the second suspect is described as slim. The police were also advised of a third suspect described as a female. She fled in the same area where the 2 men ran. During the second incident that took place just before 10, police arrived and police arrested 3 people in relation to an attempted robbery that took place at a store on Walkers Road. It is reported that 2 men wearing masks and armed with knives entered the establishment and attempted to rob a cashier who resisted the perpetrators. During the altercation, the cashier sustained injuries but was eventually able to escape, leaving the two male suspects in the store. Members of the public outside assisted by holding the door shutters closed. It's always the public that are doing the great things, right? It's always the public that are catching these crooks here. I got to give credit to the police too, but big up the public. All right, so the officers arrived on the scene shortly after the incident and arrested the 2 men aged 18 and 28, both from West Bay, along with a female juvenile who is also believed to be involved in the robbery. The victim was transported to the hospital, treated for serious but non-life-threatening injuries, and later released. So there's a little bit more in the press release, but again, if you have any information, you can call the Criminal Investigations Department at 949-4222. Anonymous tips can be provided to the RCIPS via their confidential tip line 949-7777 or via website at rcips.ky. I got to go to a time check in the 8 a.m. news, but hang out with me because we are going to be talking about goal-setting slumps and second chances in our next segment.
Information, entertainment, inspiration.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac.
Since 1976 till now.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Government publishes a suite of financial services bill for the digital sector. The virtual asset services providers, the private funds, and the mutual funds amendment bills were gazetted online at gov.ky/publications on Wednesday. If passed in Parliament, the Virtual Assets Services Providers Amendment Bill will add definition for, quote, among other things, tokenized mutual and private funds. The private funds and mutual funds bills are related, proposing to amend the laws to lay out specific requirements for tokenized private and mutual funds and add definitions for digital investment token and digital equity token. The digital investment token represents fractional or full ownership of a real-world asset recorded on a blockchain, while a digital equity token is a blockchain-based digital token representing direct ownership in a company, asset, or investment fund. The Water Authority is taking steps to modernize how it monitors water usage with a pilot project to test smart meter technology. The project will evaluate 2 smart metering technologies to see if remote meter reading is feasible under Cayman's local conditions. It's part of an effort to modernize water management systems and improve service delivery.
Our investment in this pilot program marks a significant step forward in providing enhanced services to our customers.
Dr. Gelia Frederick Van Genderen is the director of the Water Authority.
By embracing advanced metering infrastructure, we aim to improve operational efficiency, strengthen system reliability, and deliver even better value to the people we serve.
If successful, the smart meter technology could eventually be rolled out island-wide, giving customers faster leak detection and real-time usage information. The Water Authority is finalizing installation plans and will contact selected pilot participants directly in coming weeks. And tonight, the Cayman Arts Festival is blowing up the Harkwell Theater stage with its opening show, Jazz and Trance Big Band. But things take a more classical turn on Saturday with the Cayman Youth Camerata promising an enchanting evening of strings.
In this particular event, we're going to have them performing at the Harkwell under their conductor, Alina Makina, and we have students from the Yehudi Menuhin School, in fact, past students, I should say, including their former director of music, who's a fantastic international concert pianist, Ashley Wass, and their 4 string players coming with them, who are all alumni of the Yehudi Menuhin School. Now, those of you who haven't heard of Yehudi Menuhin, he's one of the greatest violinists ever in the 20th century. These are creme de la creme.
K-Musica's Glenn Ananga tells Radio Cayman the Cayman students performing on Saturday are part of the organization's Starlight After School program.
We follow children as recommended by their music teachers right from primary school all the way through high school. We pay for their instruments, we pay for their tuition, we provide scholarships, we basically help to nurture that talent, all at no cost to the student. And the idea really is there should be no barriers to somebody who wants to develop their talent.
Come witness the future of music. The show starts again on Saturday at 7 p.m. and you can get your tickets at eventbrite.com. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Danielle Yałowiecka. 2 days of talks between Ukraine, Russia and the United States aimed at ending Moscow's war on its neighbour have ended with one immediate outcome, the exchange of more prisoners of war. 314 captured soldiers, half from each side, have been swapped. Meanwhile, Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister says Russia has used drones to strike railway facilities, including energy supplies in the northern Sumy region. The Nigerian President Bola Tinubu is deploying an army battalion to Kwara State following a mass killing in the remote Woro village. The president blamed the attack on Boko Haram jihadists. The UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk has appealed for funds. He said his agency is in survival mode because of cuts from the US and others. State media in Iran say the Revolutionary Guards have seized 2 oil tankers in the Gulf and their crews. The Tasnim news agency said the ships were carrying more than 1 million litres of fuel Tehran alleged was being smuggled. Prosecutors in Israel have filed charges against the brother of the head of the Domestic Intelligence Agency over the alleged smuggling of cigarettes into Gaza during the war. Bezalel Zini is being charged with assisting the enemy in wartime. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. is brought to you by The Light Room. Tired of being unwell and struggling to find the energy and vitality to live the life you desire? Come get recharged from the inside out at The Light Room. Our non-invasive, holistic energy enhancement system detoxifies and energizes the body, enabling self-healing and balance. Book online at www.thelightroom.ky or call 938-HEAL, 38 Pasadora Place, GT.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 74 degrees. Relative humidity is 92%. The barometric pressure is 30.01 inches and rising. The wind is northeast at 6 knots. Overnight low was 71. Synopsis indicate cloudy, rainy conditions are expected for the next 24 hours due to an increased low-level moisture coupled with a prefrontal boundary over the western Caribbean. Further west, a cold front currently over the Yucatan Channel is expected to move over the Cayman Islands tonight, leading to fresh westerly winds and rough seas tonight. A small craft advisory will be in effect from this evening. Satellite imagery show overcast layered clouds across the northwest Caribbean. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for overcast skies with rain and scattered showers at times in the morning. Becoming partly cloudy to cloudy with a 30% chance of lingering showers thereafter. Showers will be locally heavy at times and temperatures will rise near the mid to upper 70s. Winds will be north to northwest at 5 to 10 knots, increasing to 15 to 20 knots by this afternoon, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Swells are expected along the northern and western coast from this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a 30% chance of lingering showers, and showers will become locally heavy at times for tonight as well, and temperatures falling to the low 70s. Winds will be north to northwest at 15 to 20 knots, becoming north by daybreak tomorrow. Seas will be rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet, and swells are expected along the northern and western coast. A small craft advisory will be in effect tonight, with a small craft alert in effect from early tomorrow. High tide will be this morning at 11:38, low tide this evening at 5 minutes past 6, sunset 6:19, sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:59, and the outlook is calling for the cold front to continue moving through the Cayman area and eventually become stationary east of Jamaica by late Friday. The associated high-pressure system to this front will bring some fresh to locally strong to northwest winds, rough seas, and noticeably cooler temperatures. A small craft alert will remain in place through Friday night. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Aunt Angie, how does it feel to have broken the bull riding world record?
Sore, Sean. That bull was angry.
Angie, I think that bull is headed towards your red convertible.
I broke the world record and he broke my car. Oh well, at least I've got CG Comprehensive Motor to cover this.
Get covered for collision, damage, and more. CG Brit-K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Brit-K, where people come first.
The 7:20 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Credit Union, on the road to 50 years of serving our members. Visit creditunion.ky to join today.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning, let's check in with traffic, see what's slowing and what's flowing. Coming from the east, expect the usual traffic. Heavy traffic on Shamrock Road and also on the Linford Pearson Highway, and steady traffic coming off of Bobby Thompson Way and Agnes Way. Slight delays expected. As we look to downtown Georgetown, flowing pretty good on Edward Street into Georgetown. On Shedden Road, moderate flow of traffic. Remember, roads are wet, so please drive with extra care. Coming off of the Esley Tibbetts Highway, steady but flowing traffic, and continuing on to North Sound Road. Industrial Park area moving at a moderate pace. A little slow-moving traffic on Walker's Road heading to the Georgetown area. And from the West Bay Four-Way stop, flowing at a moderate pace. Owen Roberts Drive, no issues there as traffic is light to moderate. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue flowing at a moderate pace in both directions. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic and slow-moving traffic on Cool Road.
Start your year off right with Subway's Fresh Fit menu. 4 protein-packed subs with 20 grams or more protein, under 500 calories, and loaded with full servings of crisp veggies on hearty multi-grain bread. Try the grilled chicken and avocado, the ham and turkey stacker, the seasoned steak and avocado, or the turkey and ranch delight. Big flavor, plenty of protein, and fresh veggies in every bite. Fuel your day the Fresh Fit way. Only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. It is Thursday, February 5th, and if you are just joining us, we are going to be talking about goals, slumps, and second chances. I was teasing this topic in the earlier segment, and, I did ask the question, how many of you have set goals for the new year? Are you on track? Did you give up, like 2 of my colleagues who gave up by January 15th? It's not Susan over there. She's laughing in the background. So are you like me and maybe you didn't make any goals or didn't really even think about it? Because I do like to set them throughout the year as is. So as we move past the excitement of the new year, many people find their motivation slipping and their goals quietly falling by the wayside. And today's conversation looks at why that happens, how mindset, pressure, and life realities affect follow-through, and how people can reset without guilt or shame. We'll be covering realistic, sustainable goal setting at work and in life and practical ways to rebuild momentum when it fades. So joining me is Lorna Murphy of Lorna Murphy Consulting. She's a personal and business coach and learning development specialist with over 20 years of experience. And I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about her professional background. So welcome to The Buzz, Lorna.
Thank you so much for having me this morning. So very varied professional background. So I've worked in public sector, private sector. I've worked in social work. I've worked as an English language teacher in Tokyo. I've been a learning and development manager, fitness instructor, swim instructor, lots of different things. But senior manager in an insurance company was what really turned me on to coaching. So in the first instance, I realized I wasn't a very good manager. And so what help was I going to get for that? So I went and I did my first diploma in personal and business coaching. And that really transformed a lot of things for me because previously I had been working with people who didn't necessarily want to be helped. Mm-hmm. That was my caseload. But you can't, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Right.
Whereas what I love about coaching is that people come to me with an objective in mind and they want to change. They just need some help in doing it. So something I posted up last week actually just said, if at first you don't succeed, hire a coach and start again. Because we all need that accountability. So now here on Island, I have Lorna Murphy Consulting. It'll be 5 years in March. And it's varied and evolved over the years. Coaching is like a main part of it, but cultural change is also really important. The environment in which behaviours happen are so important. So, if you've ever been to a training course and you're like, this is it. But you've done it in a separate environment, different training room, it's separate to your work environment. Then you go back into the office and it's like, oh no, well, the habit for here is this.
Yes.
The expected behavior here is this. Let's just go back to normal. And so in order for things to change, you kind of have to make adjustments to your environment, to how you identify yourself, your self-identity, and to really kind of push it forward. So when I work with organizations, I like to do cultural change en masse, that everybody knows what's going on, everybody's working towards the same goal, as opposed to just having one person who's fighting the tide.
And I understand that because I feel like I've been to some amazing training overseas within radio.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it, and came back with some great ideas, and you just want to hit the ground running.
Yes.
And not everybody's as excited as you are. I mean, they didn't have that same experience, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I think, and this goes across all sorts of industries and scenarios, but it can be really hard to get people to buy into that idea.
Completely. And if you think about that, that's at an organizational level. So when we set New Year's resolutions, they're kind of solo endeavors. And so, we should never underestimate the power of community, or the fact that we're social animals, that we come from tribes.
Yes.
And belonging is very, very important. If you do something different, you're weird, different. You're noticed as being that kind of tall poppy, or that crab that's trying to get out of a bucket. And what happens? You kind of fall back down, you're pulled back down to the level that you were at before, because that's the norm. That's what people expect from you. Human beings love certainty. We love certainty. So if Kathy, I expect you to turn up in a certain way. If you suddenly turn up in a different way, that rocks me. That kind of puts me into an adrenaline or a fight or flight state. I'm not expecting that from you. So I'm going to try my best to get you back to what my internal image is of you, mm-hmm. and how you act and whatever else. So one of the things that can sabotage our goals, apart from ourselves, is other people, because they don't like it when we try to change.
This is so true. And when you mention the crab in the bucket mentality, you might be trying to get out, but there's a lot of times people just dragging you back in because they don't like seeing a change, mm-hmm. or what you might be trying to achieve, whatever that might reflect in them. Perhaps.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily that they don't want to see you succeed. It's just that it's different, and you're showing up in a different way. And most of our day is autopilot. Okay, our brains use so much energy. We can't be on all the time, which is why meditation, present moment awareness are so difficult, because we're just in our groove.
Yeah.
So you don't think about the journey in the car that you had here today, or if you walked today. You don't remember every detail of it. But when you were learning to drive, you had to think about every single bit of it.
Yes.
Okay. So we go from unconscious incompetence. So number one, we have no idea how bad we are at it. Then we start to learn to drive. Then we're consciously incompetent. We know how bad we are. Mm-hmm. Then we move into conscious competence. We have to think about it, but we still have to focus, but we're getting better. And then it goes into unconscious competence, where you just get on with it. You do it. It becomes this automatic thing. And so I always find it really interesting to see how quickly habits form. So if I have a multi-day training, people will come in the second day and they sit down in exactly the same seat that they sat the day before.
Yes.
That is how quickly habits are formed. It's my seat. No, it's just one of a range of seats that happens to be in a training room.
This is me at yoga, Lorna, just so you know.
Somebody took my spot.
If anybody dares, I'd freak out. There might be only 3 people in the room, but I'm like, how dare she come
Exactly.
a whole half hour earlier than me and claim this spot.
And you have this resentment towards people, for absolutely no reason whatsoever. But that's how quickly we fall into habits. And so what I do then is I say, okay, everybody stand up. Take your stuff, move.
Oh.
Go sit beside people you didn't sit beside before. Go sit at a table. Get a different view. Because I don't know if you sit here every day.
Well,
is this your seat?
We've just renovated our studio, so this is our first week in the studio. So yes, this is my seat.
It has that new fancy smell.
Yes.
So, if you get used to sitting there, and someday you decide to sit there, it's going to feel weird. Because you're just going to have a different view on the world. And that's just changing your angle. So I do encourage people to try and change things up as much as possible. When I work with organizations, it's like, okay, separate the cliques. because they're used to sitting and having these conversations day in, day out. They influence each other's behavior all the time. What if you mix them up and they have new influences? So we've all heard, like, show me your 5 best friends.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what your life looks like.
Or what your future is.
Or what your income is or whatever else. So, you know, whether we like it or not, we conform. Because that's what we've always done. That's what we've been trained to do. Because back in the savannah, back in the day when we were hunter-gatherers, we were in groups of 150 people, to not conform and to not do what the norm is to be cast out.
Right.
If you're not in that group of 150 in the savannah, you are not surviving. So conformity is survival, as it was. But our brains aren't there anymore. We have so many other options. You know, this kind of Western push towards individuality that is increasingly across the globe. So Japanese society was very much about we, whereas Western culture is very much about I. So it's easier to pursue something individualistic here in the West than it is in a country that is very much focused on the we.
You have my mind really, really going right now, because I've always been that person who goes against the grain.
Me too. Me too.
And but now I'm like, okay, is it just me? Am I being too individualistic? So you have my mind going, per se. And I don't like groupthink. And I think of it as, it's like traffic for me when you see people merging, like nobody knows how to merge, and it just drives me absolutely nuts. And I'm like, okay, why is everybody trying to merge together at this one spot when you should go to the very, very last possible point where you can merge into that lane? And so I'm like, that's how you're supposed to merge, guys. So I let people do this whole crazy, we're causing all this traffic over here, and I'll somehow get by them and go where, and I'm way ahead of them in merging. But it's just a small example, but I'm like, this is groupthink. Like when a traffic happens, like we're just going to fall in line and not look around and question what are we supposed to do or what's going on, or it's the weirdest thing to me.
And if everybody subscribed to the same model, no problem. Great, it flows. However, you might have that person at the front who's been waiting for longer than you, and they're like, I'm not letting you in. You can't just drive up the side and merge at the last minute. I've been sitting in this line for however long, waiting for a green light. But
they will with me driving.
But it's that group think, and you know, the kind of, it's, you know, incredible, like in Japan and others very, very organized societies, they walk on a certain side.
Yes.
They walk on a certain side. There are these lots of unwritten rules in society that you don't know about until you've made the mistake and you've learned.
Right.
So I made a lot of faux pas in culture there. And culturally, you know, you are absorbed into your culture. Yes. There are norms of culture. There are norms of your family. Your workplace has a culture, whether you like it or not. This is one of the things that I work on with organizations. Do you have a culture by design or by default? So if you don't design it, one's going to evolve anyway. And so it's better to design it up front than have something that you didn't want in the first place. And so that's like the getting carried along, going with the flow type thing, which is how most of us lead our lives, unless we start to take control of them. So on the 1st of January, people are like, a totally different life. Yeah, I'm going to drink a gallon of water a day. I'm going to eat 10 portions of fruit and veg a day. I'm going to do half an hour of meditation / yoga. I'm going to journal. I'm going to do like a half an hour of cardio. I'm going to be really nice to all my loved ones. And I'm going to go to bed early without my phone, with a smile on my face, and do some deep breathing exercises before I fall into sleep. You're trying to change what you do on a mass scale, given the fact that, you know, 60, some estimates are 80% of your day is autopilot, and these deeply ingrained habits that you don't think about. You don't think about getting out of bed in the morning, unless it's, you know, I don't want to. But, you know, you don't think about brushing your teeth. You don't think about making your coffee. You don't think about, you know, grabbing your stuff before you leave the house. You know, you kind of have these checklists in your head, but they don't have to be explicitly stated. So if you're trying to change something about what you do or how you are, you have to pay conscious attention to it. And so awareness is the first thing. So some people launch into January 1st because it's expected, right? What are your New Year's resolutions? Everybody asks you, what are your New Year's resolutions? I don't have any, and I didn't set any. Oh, Right, that's interesting.
Well, they're like, the eyebrow goes up.
Yeah.
You don't seem very ambitious or driven, or
Yeah.
Are you lazy?
Or do you think you're perfect already? God forbid.
Yeah.
But I think that it's the worst possible time to set goals.
Oh,
Or to
interesting.
try and change yourself. Think about the Christmas period.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Think about the Christmas period. It's indulgence. It's like overeating. It's over drinking. It's staying up late. Your entire routine is out.
Yes.
And then you think on the 1st of January that you're going to be able to repair all of that and jump into a whole new life? No, it's just not logical. In Northern Hemisphere, animals are still hibernating.
I just read recently that we're supposed to be hibernating during the winter a little bit. I was like, what?
I'm up for that.
You're up for that.
That's a good idea. But, if animals are still hibernating, if spring hasn't come yet, if things aren't, kind of sprouting, growing, there's growth, there's movement there, and you're trying to do this in the stagnation of winter, which obviously isn't as bad here, except last week, but it's just the wrong time to do it. Then some people feel that they have to, okay, if I'm going to eat more healthily, that costs money.
Oh, yeah.
If I have to get fit, I have to membership of a gym. That costs money. You're just coming out of probably one of the most expensive periods of your year for Christmas.
Yep.
So is this really the right time to be stressing yourself out with, financial, with, kind of food prep from scratch? Where are you going to find the time for that every day? So it's kind of what we're kind of setting ourselves up for failure. And then the more we do that, the more we set ourselves up for failure, the more likely we are to just stop setting goals or to not truly believe in the goals that we set because I haven't managed to achieve this any other year.
Why do we even set goals as humans? What's the whole purpose of having goals? And as you said, there's goals and habits.
Yeah.
And in a second part of that question now, what is the difference there between goals and habits? Because I never really thought about that.
So goals are the end state where you want to arrive at. And it tends to be a point in time. It's a whatever figure salary. It's crossing the finish line of a marathon. It's whatever number on the scales. It's I get that promotion at work. And that has an end date. But a lot of people find themselves, they get there and they're like, I thought this was going to feel different. And then they revert back to what it was before. So you do your week-long detox, juice diet for a week. What happens in day 8?
I'm going to eat 12 pizzas.
Exactly. So was it worth doing it? You're reverting back to type. So the habits, I think, are secondary to identity. So the habits are what makes the goals happen, but the goals become a lifestyle change. You change the type of person that you are. I am the kind of person who does this. I'm the kind of person who eats healthy meals. I'm the type of person who doesn't have junk food in the house because if it's not there, I can't eat it. I'm the type of person who, when I come in from work in the evenings, as soon as I take off my work shoes, I get changed into my workout gear and I go out for a 5-minute walk. It doesn't have to be massive. Start very, very small and set yourself up for success. And that's what we were saying. We set ourselves these huge, lofty goals. I'm going to climb Everest. Okay, right. We'll get off the sofa first. And how would an Everest climber think? What do they do? What do they do differently? So I have some examples from my own life.
Hold on. We got to take a commercial break.
Okay.
So when we come back, we'll get into some of those examples. But great conversation so far. I love this.
Thank you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
This February, experience the rhythm, passion, and power of live performance at the Cayman Arts Festival, February 5th to the 14th at the Hartwell Theatre. From electrifying sounds of the Jean Centron's Big Band to the inspiring brilliance of the Youth Camerata with international guest artists, the festival celebrates music across generations. Feel the energy as Cayman's Future Phobia teams up with the Netherlands' all-female rock band, The Royals. Be moved by the soulful artistry of Jade and Hannah and end the festival with the fiery intensity of Miguel Vargas Flamenco Dance Theatre. 5 unforgettable nights, 1 extraordinary festival, February 5th to the 14th. Tickets available now. Visit CaymanArtsFestival.com or call 922-5550.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands. Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. If you're just joining us, we are talking about goals, slumps, and second chances. And my guest this morning is Lorna Murphy. She's a personal and business coach with Lorna Murphy Consulting. Yep. And she was, it's been a great conversation so far. I'm loving it. And she was just going to give us some examples of, was it the goals that you set or habits that you started forming?
Yeah, goals that I've set and temporary habits. Okay. So on my bucket list, it had always been, I'm going to do a marathon.
Okay.
I'm going to do a marathon. So when I was living, as I said, in Tokyo in 2006, it was their first international marathon, which is a really big deal to get into now. But it was their first international marathon. And every Gaijin or foreigner who was living there got entry, automatic entry. So because it's an international marathon. So this is my chance. This is my opportunity. So I sign up for the marathon. I get a space, no problem. And then I realized I'm going to have to run 26.2 miles.
Have you ever ran before?
Yeah, I used to be a runner back in school, but like long distance was 1,500 meters.
Okay, so that was like 3.5
meters. Yeah,
I feel you.
So I was sporty, but that had gone by the wayside. Late teens, early 20s, and so suddenly I realized, okay, I'm going to have to see this through to fulfillment. So, what does my life look like right now, and is that coherent with what or congruent with what a marathon runner does? And it was very, very much not aligned. So I was a smoker at the time. I would drink alcohol at the time, maybe, go out to the izakaya a few nights a week or whatever else with my friends, maybe karaoke all night on a Friday or a Saturday. And yeah, sleep patterns all over the place. Not a particularly healthy lifestyle. So I realized, okay, this is going to be happening in 10 months' time. So I need to be ready for this. So what do I have to change? Okay, what would a marathon runner do? Okay, so I'm changing my identity. I'm trying to think like what a marathon runner would do. Mm-hmm. Okay, am I going to be smoking? No. So knock that on the head. Am I going to be drinking? Nope, knock that on the head.
Okay, hold on, Lorna. Those are two of the biggest vices people have, smoking and drinking. Mm-hmm. That's very hard to just knock it on the head and be like, okay, done. How when you're done with this, you gotta go to how you were able to just boom say no to that.
Yeah. So when you're out and you're running or walking fast, as I had to start on because I had to start slow, and you're wheezing and you can't really breathe, then smoking becomes much less attractive.
Okay.
When you have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go for a run, staying up late seems a lot less attractive, and feeling the wear and tear of a late night and whatever it is you've done the night before.
Yeah, yeah.
So they kind of went hand in hand, but I also surrounded myself in people. I joined marathon runner groups.
Okay. And
to these people, marathons are the norm. So I surround myself with people where marathon running is the norm for them. I also had an accountability partner because one of my friends at the time lived right next door. He was another teacher over there, and he signed up for the marathon too. So we were training together. And like he knocks on my window in the morning, get up for your run. So there's accountability there. He's not letting me skip it. Okay, he's not letting me skip it. So it's important to have like those accountability buddies, or because we conform, find your people, find your tribe, and those people who will encourage you to do the thing, whatever it is. If it's the norm for them, it will become the norm for you.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean dump all your friends or whatever else, but it means that you kind of change some elements of who you hang out with and when.
It's almost like a people or something to model yourself after, per se.
Yeah. And so for me, training, hiking, rock climbing, whatever else happened in the 10 months. And then I crossed the finish line of Tokyo Marathon and burst into tears. It's like, I'd just done it.
Yes.
And then life went back to before, because I'd had a goal, I'd achieved the goal, and now I'm back to how I was before. So I hadn't totally changed my mindset into I am permanently a marathon runner, or I am someone who does this all the time. It was
a bucket list.
One and done.
Yeah, it was a bucket list thing.
However, when I crossed the finish line, I was like, I want more.
Oh.
This feels good. Okay. This feels really good. So a couple of years later, I moved to Dublin and got in with a marathon running group. And like these people are on their hundreds and thousands of marathons now. So I'm small fry. Like the year before I moved out here, I did 15 marathons, which to most people is a lot.
It's
in a year.
Yes, one is a lot for me.
So
yeah, that's amazing.
But a friend of mine, Brian, in the same year was going for the Irish record, and he did 110.
Wow.
So like we'd all be doing a marathon, starting at whatever time. He'd go and do a sneaky one in the afternoon as well.
No.
It's like a sneaky 26.2 miles.
Wow.
So when you're around these people, when you surround yourself with people where it's the norm, it's fine. It becomes the norm. It becomes achievable because you see people do it all of the time. And so it's who you surround yourself with. It's that mindset that you get, but you gather it from being around other people. You don't have to do anything alone. The goal setting.
I want to ask you this now. You did say earlier you don't have to get rid of your friends, when you're trying to achieve a certain goal. But you do have to surround yourself with some of the people that are already kind of in that goal or in that realm that you're trying to achieve.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people that I've experienced it where you've been cast away or, hey, I'm after this. I don't think you're where I think you need to be in life.
Yeah.
Therefore, I need to go after my goal. And I'm like, well, what do I have to do with, how am I bringing you down per se? But there's people who do think like that I got to get rid of other people around me and just surround myself with exactly who I want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and that because I think then you're denying the essence of who you are. And you're denying your culture, you're denying your background, you're denying your roots. And I think we all know people who've done that. And we don't really think that well of them. You should never forget where you came from.
Yeah.
And so, families have traditions. You're not going to suddenly shun your entire family just because you've decided that you're set on this goal. Now, there are some people who will do that, but, it's moderation. It's moderation, and it takes time. It takes a lot of time to go through these changes to, like the 1% every day. Just go to bed smarter or fitter than you did the day before.
Small incremental changes.
Yes, tiny, and they will compound over time. It might be years. Now, you're not going to go to the gym once and see the results tomorrow. It's not going to happen. But, they talk about it's like 2 weeks till you start feeling the results, 3 weeks till you see it, and 4 weeks till other people start to notice. And so when we talk about like our groupthink and the people that we surround ourselves with, maybe you're in work and there's always candy or there's always cake or there's always someone's birthday or whatever else, and you opt out of that. People are like, oh, it's only one slice of cake. Yeah, but I don't eat cake anymore. It's only one slice. Oh, come on. It's just one. Or when people try to stop drinking or whatever else, it's just one.
I got that a lot. I've stopped drinking. I'm 5 years now, no alcohol.
Wow.
And that happens quite often.
Yeah. It's just one.
Yeah.
Or else you're asked, are you taking medication or you're pregnant if you're a woman, because it's so strange.
What happened?
Yeah. Well, it's not aligned. This is the norm, right? Yes. So I think, the kind of the 0% alcohol stuff has kind of changed that up a little bit.
Yeah.
So that people can still go to bars and whatever and imbibe, but it's not alcohol. So it's made it kind of easier.
Yes.
And so the easier you make the habit to achieve, then the easier it becomes. You take out the barriers to it. So if your workout clothes are sitting there in the morning, if you have a space in your house, and I know not everybody is afforded the luxury of having a massive house or whatever else, you have a space where all you do is you do your work. You do your work, and that's at your PC or your laptop. And it's at a certain desk in a certain corner of a certain room. And you associate that with, I do my work here. I do my writing here. And my PC, laptop, I can't look at that social media on that. Okay, so I stay away from those distractions that pull me away. And I can look at social media on my phone, but only once I've worked for 2 hours. Okay, so it's almost like a reward at the end of the thing that you wanted to do anyway. So you have to make it attractive. As soon as I've done this, I get up, I take my phone out to take a look at my notifications, put it down, do 10 push-ups, then I can look at Facebook or whatever it may be. So it's those rewards at the end of it, and to really develop that awareness. How are you spending your time?
Yes.
That autopilot, how are you spending your time? So I have a couple of clients I'm coaching right now, personal coaching, and they have alarms on their phones now every hour, and it just makes them say, what are you doing? And they write down what they're doing. And they've come to the realizations over the last few weeks of what they're actually doing with their days. And it involves so much wasted time. And I'm saying to them, if you were to design your ideal life, which we've kind of gone through that visualization exercise, and what does a perfect day look like? What does it include? And it's not doom scrolling for an hour. It's not, kind of sitting, binge watching, whatever, on Netflix. It's not just kind of sitting around or doing whatever. Most people want to be active, but it's easier to choose a comfortable path now.
I also feel that it's almost a societal thing, an unspoken societal thing, that you've got to be busy all the time. You've got to be doing something all the time. And I don't mind doom scrolling for an hour every day. I don't mind watching TV for an hour every day. I'm okay with that. But that's part of what I would want in my life, just as a bit of this is my kind of chill out moment in the day that I need.
So that's almost like your reward for having done the work.
Yeah, I feel you.
So it's TV's fine, gaming's fine, some scrolling is fine. But when you're into excessive, when Netflix is saying to you at 2:00 in the morning, are you still watching?
Yes.
We're maybe into excess then.
Okay.
So, I've had a client or someone who attended one of my classes, and he said that his thing is gaming, and he'll game for hours. I said, is that really good? And he said, well, what it was I started gaming because otherwise I was going to the pub or the bar.
Okay.
So this is the better one. And I'll get sick of gaming at some point and want to do something else instead. And I'm already starting to feel uncomfortable in the excessive gaming. So now I want to move to exercise or whatever that may be. So, these things aren't bad. Everything in moderation is fine. I don't think there are any bad foods per se, or, kind of bad, it's just little steps. And as long as you're making choices, as long as you are conscious and aware of the choices that you're making, as opposed to just being pushed along, by your habits and what they are. And, with speaking about where we sit normally, right. Habits happen so quickly.
This is true. Well, true. It takes from what I read, and I think it's from a couple books that we both read. So I think it was in Think and Grow Rich. They said, I think it's 31 days. It might be in that book that they say that it takes to form a habit. I know you had the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm not sure what it says in that book.
Yeah.
But how long it takes to form a habit as well. And
yeah. It varies.
Yeah.
It varies. And it varies by person. It varies by activity, what you want to achieve or whatnot. So there are various numbers that have been put on it according to what the task is, what the goal is, or what the lifestyle is. And so it's just really stick with it is the thing.
Right.
And it will become the norm. It will become the norm.
Stick with it. And
But
that's
you
the
have
part.
to stick with
We fall off sometimes. I
Oh,
want to
me
get to why, some of the reasons
Yeah.
as to why we fall off. I know you mentioned a couple of them, especially with the new year, and that's just a lot of pressure. But if we could explore a couple more of those reasons, but we got to take a really quick commercial break and come back to that.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Celebrating 50 years of broadcasting in the Cayman Islands.
50 years of music.
This is Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
50 years of life. We are the rhythm of the city.
Radio Cayman.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. We are talking about goals, slumps, and second chances. And I have in studio with me Lorna Murphy, personal and business coach of Lorna Murphy Consulting. It has been a really good conversation so far. And I had to interrupt Lorna and say, we got to go to a commercial break. But I did say I want to bring up the reasons why people do just fall off their goals. And I know, I like that you say that New Year's is probably the worst time to set a goal because of all the pressures from the holidays and you know, what you've gone through then. And it's almost like doing a 180 for your body, mind, and soul.
Yeah.
So for any other possible reasons why people just kind of fall off their goals right away, and how do they get back on them? Okay. How do we find motivation again?
So we have to set ourselves up for success. And I think too many people set like really, really lofty goals. And I'm not knocking lofty goals. It's fantastic to want more for yourself, completely. But recognize the fact that if you're starting from scratch, you're going to be a beginner and you're going to make mistakes, and not to be disheartened by those mistakes, that you will get there eventually. I was nervous coming here this morning. Live radio? Are you joking me? But you know, maybe this is the first time. So it seems to be going all right. But next time I'll be better. And next time I'll be better than that.
I heard a quote this morning on a podcast I was listening to, The Diary of a CEO. And in this quote, I think it was the host, Stephen, who said, a beginner has never failed more than a master has.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, yeah.
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 Yeah. And it's Bruce Lee said, I fear not the man who has practiced 1,000 punches one time, but the person who has practiced one punch 1,000 times.
Yes.
And so I can remember saying that in one of my 7 Habits of Highly Effective People trainings, and one person said, oh yeah, so we're saying we can all be Bruce Lee. And I said, well, Bruce Lee's made from the same stuff as you.
Oh.
Exactly the same stuff as you. He just practiced and practiced. And the thing is that you have loads of people who have natural talent at things and do nothing with it.
Yeah.
Discipline, showing up, doing the work will beat that out every single time. For my kids, I use the example of Ronaldo. And like there's all these memes, you can't out-train Ronaldo. You know, you arrive on the pitch or you arrive on the training ground like at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's already there. You arrive at 4 o'clock. He's already there. It's like how you can't out-train somebody who is that determined to do it. But if we start too lofty, then we're setting ourselves up for failure. So we need to set ourselves mini goals along the way so that we can get that lovely feeling of success, of achievement, of progression, of growth. And so it's to recognize that, but also to recognize that you're going to make mistakes and you are going to fail. And that's just learning. And one very simplistic example I use is babies when they're starting to learn to walk. They don't just fall over twice and say, you know what, this walking thing is not for me. I'm just going to stay crawling.
This is so true, yes.
You just get up and you do it again. You get up and you do it again. But I think as we get older, failure is almost seen like a bad thing, whereas it's just learning. You know, Thomas Edison, the light bulb. I didn't find 9,999 ways that failed. I found 9,999 ways that didn't work. So I can call it failure or I can call it learning.
A change of perspective.
Absolutely.
When you
reframing.
When you get up and change your seat, a change of perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, and just change how you look at it. So some of my coaching clients are very, very high achievers in their lives, and you know they've reached a massive successes. And I say, when was the last time you tried something new? And they're like, oh, we tried a Merlot last week that we hadn't had before. I'm like, no. You're wine people. When was the last time you tried something new that you were a total beginner at?
Something that takes you out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. The comfort zone is dead now. So they went skating in Kings.
Okay.
In Kings. Neither of them had skated since they were kids. They spent half their time on the floor, but they had more of a laugh than they'd had in ages. Because it's sometimes fun just to learn new things. Yeah, it can be frustrating as well if you're going for success and achievement, and I expect me at the pinnacle of my career and everybody who's done everything, I'm a high achiever. But once you weren't.
Yes.
At one point you weren't. So yeah, the master was once a beginner, but it's about sticking with it. And so I talk about how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Sorry for the vegetarians out there. But you know, you could see this huge thing in front of you and that seems insurmountable. You can't do that.
Right.
But it's little by little by little and you keep chipping away at it. So you mightn't see the results after one day. You mightn't even see the results after a month. However, it's going to build up. It's going to build up. And so I can't remember where it was I read it. 16 minutes a day? 16 to 18 minutes a day is 100 hours a year. If you practice anything for 100 hours a year, you're going to be better than the majority of the population.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And so like Mel Robbins talks about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get out of bed. Do it. That's the countdown. Others talk about do it for 1 minute and 1 minute only. If it's writing, write one line. If it's a task that you've been procrastinating on and you don't want to do it for 5 minutes. And that's it. And stop at 5 minutes. Even if you're starting to get into flow, stop at 5 minutes. So sometimes it's good to stop before you've had enough because it leaves you wanting. And it also leaves you knowing that you can do more. So it builds up confidence as well. But we are battling against a society and capitalism and foods and an environment that is set up for convenience, that is set up with, kind of spending millions on what is the mouthfeel of this soda? What is the optimal level of sweetness? What is that sweet spot that is going to have people wanting more and more and more and become addicted to it? Okay? What, drive-thrus. How handy is that? It takes the friction out of it. Why would I meal prep at home if I can go and pick that up? And the options don't always tend to be healthy. So you set yourself up for success. You meal prep on a Sunday and be boring. Set up routines where it's like, okay, I'm going to eat the same breakfast every day. I'm going to eat the same lunch every day, whatever. Just accept it. It's fine. You can have fun in other areas of your life, but if this is where you want to get better, this is what you do. And so it's building up those routines. It's building up, there's also habit stacking where I'm going to be brushing my teeth anyway, but I want to start meditating. So after I brush my teeth, I'm just going to look at myself and make eye contact with myself in the mirror for 60 seconds, mindfully, not think of anything else or try not to think of anything else. And then I'm going to go on about my day. So that's meditation. I've done meditation for that day. So never do 0. 1 push-up is better than no push-ups. And so to reward yourself for even that smallest little thing that you've done, but just don't do 0.
Gotcha.
And don't miss 2 days. But it doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be huge. So yeah, we have those feelings of shame because other people have managed to do it. But those people are on social media, those people are whatever. It's not real. Mm-hmm. It's not real life. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we're bombarded with all of this information and all of these people are successes and whatever else. And then, you know, their lives aren't that great. And like everybody wishes their life was as good as it is on social media, right? And
you never see the bad spots.
We can always, you know, kind of find ourselves lacking if we compare ourselves to social media, which is why social media causes more anxiety. It causes depression. It causes, you know, that anxiety of not feeling good enough.
Right.
And it's not to compare yourself to other people, but are you better than you were yesterday? Are you working towards the goal that is yours, that you want?
How much does it influence us or impact us in achieving our goals? If we're surrounded by people in our lives, it could be our partners, it could be colleagues, could be really close friends that they don't have any goals at all. Does that affect our performance?
I think it can. I think it can, because what you surround yourself in, you become. And so you're talking about listening to the Diary of a CEO podcast.
Yeah.
So that can be one of the things. Okay, you may have your friends and your family and they don't have any goals. And that's fine. But you do. So what you do in your moments for self-improvement, for whatever it is that you do, you can surround yourself with those other people. They're all there in podcasts now. Diary of the CEO is a great one. Yes. For habit formation, for goal setting, Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Yes.
Absolutely fantastic. And actually Stephen Bartlett interviews him.
Okay.
He's got podcasts all over the place.
And that's a book as well, Atomic Habits,
That's a book, right? Atomic Habits. It is incredible. And it is one of the youngest books to reach the top 100 bestsellers of all time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's about changing your habits. Yes, you're setting goals, but you have to have the habits in place to achieve the goals.
Right. That support you what you're doing with it.
And so you take out decisions from it. You know, we've all heard decision-making fatigue. Why does Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg wear the same outfit every single day? Takes a choice out of it. I can save that mental energy for something else.
Right.
Yeah. So if you become boring in your routines and that becomes routine for you, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to, you know, kind of put pressure on yourself. Am I going to do it? Am I not going to do it? It's my routine. It's just what I do. It's who I am. Because I'm the type of person who. So on starting again, second chances. You can restart any time you want. It's not January 1st, it's gone and that's it. It can be any day you choose. It can be any month you choose or whatever. But it's about setting yourself up for success. Have that vision in mind. What do I really want? And is it practical? Does it fit into my life? Because when I mention all those things that people say they're going to do on the 1st of January and forevermore.
Right.
You still have a life. You still have to go to work. You still maybe have a family you need to tend to. You still have like traffic and you have to go grocery shopping or you have to do those mundane things of life. So it's not realistic to spend an hour doing something because, like, you know, if you're out running for an hour, you have to prep for like 5 minutes and you have to have your shower afterwards and whatever else. And as well as that, it doesn't have to be the gym for a workout. Recognize that it could be skating.
Right. It could be that 5-minute walk right when you come home.
That 5-minute walk.
I've got to wrap up, Lorna.
Okay.
We're almost past the headline.
I am so sorry.
It's been a great combo. It was awesome.
Thank you.
LornaMurphyConsulting.com.
Yeah.
That's the website. Is there a number for people to reach you if they're interested in some coaching?
3220125.
Okay. I would love to have you on soon again because I feel like we could talk so much more about this and more topics. So
absolutely. It's huge.
Yeah, it is. It was great having you. Thank you so much. I have to go to the slightly after 9 a.m. headline news and then I'll be back for our next segment.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom,
This is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
The Department of Vehicle and Driver's Licensing is advising the public that its offices are closed today for a training workshop. All DVDL locations will reopen as business as usual tomorrow. In the meantime, you can head to the DVDL website, dvdl.gov.ky. In international news, during a speech in East Sussex, the Prime Minister of the UK says he's sorry to Jeffrey Epstein's victims and sorry for having believed, quote, Mandelson's lies. Keir Starmer was scheduled to speak about the Pride and Place strategy, but he began his speech by addressing the Lord Mandelson scandal. No one knew the, quote, depth and darkness of Mandelson's relationship with Epstein, according to the Prime Minister, and he again accused Mandelson of lying during the vetting process when he was appointed as U.S. ambassador in 2024. Mr. Starmer says that when Mandelson was quizzed about his relationship with Epstein, the answers he gave were, quote, intentionally intended to create the impression that he barely knew the disgraced financier. And China's leader Xi Jinping has called Taiwan, quote, the most important issue in China-U.S. relations during a phone call with U.S. President Donald Trump. Xi told Trump to be, quote, prudent when supplying weapons to the island, adding that he attached, quote, great importance to ties with Washington and hoped both sides would find ways to resolve their differences. Trump described Wednesday's call as, quote, excellent and long and thorough. The call followed a flurry of visits by Western leaders, including the UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer, to China in recent months, hoping to reset relations with the world's second largest economy. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
At HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and this time we are talking with, you're going to be familiar with him because he's been on the show with me before. I've had him on some roundtables. We've talked about some of his other businesses, and young entrepreneur that I'm very proud to see that he's doing good things, big things. So we're talking with Chris Hadome, who has his company, My Cayman Notary. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Kathy. Thanks for having me again.
It's great to have you.
Yeah.
I'm like that we can bring you on, and you do have different businesses.
Yeah.
You're somebody that wants to talk, likes to join the roundtable discussions, especially when I want perspectives from millennials as well.
Of course.
So
yeah.
I appreciate it.
Anytime. I'll always have time for you.
Excellent. Thank you. So this is for me, it's a new business. For you, it's been a couple of years in the making, right?
Yeah,
so from 2023, you started My Cayman Notary.
Yes.
And you're already known for your professionalism,
yes.
which I know this, your precision and warm approach to helping clients navigate important documents.
Yes.
Now, I never realized how important notaries were.
Oh, yeah. I mean, growing up, I've always been around like people needing paperwork done. And it's like, do you have a notary? No, I don't. And then you go in this mad hunt and you go on the website. You're like, I don't know any of these people. You call them and they're not available or they're doing this. So it's like really, really different now we're in an age of on-demand services where you can put stuff online, make it available for everyone instead of just one place, and just say, hey guys, it shouldn't be this hard. It really shouldn't be this hard. So hopefully we can, I can create a different, process in just being able to reach out to a website, send a request, and you get what you need.
So did you see a gap in the market a couple years ago when you began My Cayman Notary?
Yeah, I did, because I just did a simple Google search, and the only thing that was really I want to say consistent was the judicial list of notaries on island. But like when you look at a list, most of them are lawyers or accountants, and they have their daily lives. So it's like they're not going to be openly available, and then most of the notaries aren't like putting themselves out there, so you can like contact them to say, hey. And in the past, when I wasn't a notary, I'd have to call like several different people. Hey, are you available? No, I'm not available. And then you just go down the list.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been that way. That's been my experience.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's so interesting, because somebody I work with is a notary, and then a couple of my friends are notaries. So I'm feeling like notaries are popping up, or maybe they were just in my life.
Yeah,
perhaps.
you're lucky.
Which was lucky for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in hearing your experience, because I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, people, and it's funny that you say that. A lot of people just kind of like, oh, are you a notary? Why aren't you a notary? And I was like, I don't know. I never really thought about it until like I really like sat down and was like, I could really do that. Why couldn't I? Why not?
And you saw the gap.
And I saw the gap, so I just went for it, and I said, hey, why? There's no website. There's no formal place where someone can be like, hey, I need these documents signed, or a specific document signed. Whereas like now it's a simple website. You go on there, you say, this is what I need, you put in your information, and you send a request. I get back to you and say, hey, I can meet you at this time, or you can come down at this time. And it's a service now, as averse to me, like someone hunting you down and being like, hey, I need this, I need that, like I need a notary, I need this. And a lot of times, like some of the feedback I got from other notaries is like, it can be a little daunting, because your people are, it's like their urgency is your emergency. So if they're like, hey, I need to get these documents because, so it's like you're in hurry up mode because you want to serve them, but at the same time, not at the expense of your professional life and your schedule, but at the same time, you still want to give them that service.
What kind of, I guess, training do you have to go through? Like, what qualifies someone to be a notary?
There's no real, I want to say, there's no really like path to being a notary. It's more so what you do in your daily profession. A lot of times, like accountants and lawyers seem to be the main people who are notaries because of the administrative role that they play in a lot of legal processes, in terms of like transfers, ownerships, and any transactions that need to happen, bank accounts, being even directorships. People who handle directorships have a notary in their employ. Insurance companies, law firms, all those companies that require some sort of administrative process where they have to engage a legal service or engage the government for some kind of application process, needs a notary in their employ or on staff. So a lot of them will have a notary on staff just for the convenience of not having to go and hunt for one. And I noticed that. So I was like, okay, I'm here. You don't have to hunt for me. I'm on Front Street. So whenever you're ready, I'm here.
Okay. Well, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that because this is boom what you're doing. So you don't have another full-time profession per se that might take you away from offering that notary service. It's like a side hustle maybe for these other people. Yeah.
And I mean, it's not something that requires like a whole day. You know what I mean? It's just like 10, 15 minutes out of your day at a time. And I mean, the volume that I deal with isn't that great where I have to sit down somewhere physically and just person after person after person. You know what I mean? It's pretty quiet.
A lot of people.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty quiet for the most part, but people do reach out, and my friends and extended friends, their extension, by extension, their friends will say, hey, I know a notary, and they're easy to contact because I'm on WhatsApp, on a website, I'm on IG, so it's really easy for people to access my service.
But there's no per se like training or kind of certification you have to go through to.
No, see, my
interesting.
What helps me is the fact that I'm a director on several of my companies. I'm a director of And I have had several businesses that cover that whole remit. I've owned a restaurant. I've done business coaching. I've worked in insurance for however long, and if you have a company, a registered company, and have to go through that whole legal process to get that done, as well as apply for bank accounts and stuff like that, you are intimately aware of what's required for that administrative process to happen. And what helped me was my history as a immigration officer, which people don't really know that I
don't think I knew that either.
Yeah,
Did I know that?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't advertise it much.
Even the way that you're like,
I mean, because it carried like people kind of like, but
because they always seem so angry all the time. That's why. I'm sorry to say, but it's like, can y'all,
I understand.
Don't be so angry all the time.
I understand the pain that immigration officers go through, work officers have to deal with. I understand the grind that they have to deal with, and it's not easy. They're the unspoken heroes of the industry because
now my eyebrows are
yeah.
raising.
I mean, they're people might, it's an unpopular opinion, but I feel they're unspoken heroes because they are people in the back end who do genuinely help.
Oh, absolutely.
Genuinely
but when you have your front-facing staff, anyways, this is a whole other, that's a whole other topic because, man, you should never make people feel small and powerless and not welcome when they're coming to you.
Yeah.
But again, that's a whole other
I feel that there should be a culture switch at some point. But it takes a few people to do it right for the culture to change.
I completely 100% with you on that. Yeah. Something we were a little talking about a tiny bit in the last segment as well.
Yeah.
So you have had all these different experiences, and especially with your companies, you understand the ins and outs of what it takes. So that put you in a position that you were like, I could offer notary services.
For sure, because a lot of people don't when they're given an application, they're already anxious that they're going to get it wrong, And being that the majority of most of the stuff I do is like some of the visa applications and confirmation. The confirmations that you have to do now as a Caymanian, those paperwork is daunting for a lot of people because now you're saying, hey, you have to prove it.
I thought you've had to prove it since you were born.
Well, I mean,
every year apparently.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things now where people are being confronted with the paperwork that they got to do, and it's like it's a lot and it's scary because
it is.
You like anytime you have to engage the immigration. A lot of people are just like, it's going to take forever. It's going to, there's a lot of that anxiety that comes along with that. So, my goal is to kind of help them ease their mind and say, hey, it's not as hard as you, let's look it over. Because with my background in immigration, I can look over the paperwork and be like, hey, they're going to need this, they're going to need that. You might need this, or you didn't do this. One of the biggest things that I try to do is give them extra information so it helps the process after me.
Great, that's great. Gives that client a little bit more confidence.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. Now, we got to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, I want to know a little bit more about exactly why people are coming to a notary. What do they need you for exactly?
The 7 a.m. Sports Report, brought to you by Dr. Wayne Porter, offering a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
We give you honor and praise, adoration and glory.
Radio Cayman.
Praise time.
Praise him, praise him. Come and let's praise the Lord. Come and let's praise the Lord. Praise him in the morning and in the evening. Let's praise the Lord.
Praise time in the morning.
Praise him, praise him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
Radio Cayman, waking you up.
Rock my soul in the blues of my faith in your hand. Rock my soul in the blues of my faith in your hand.
Praise time.
I know he cares. He'll always be there. Oh, yeah. Praise him, praise him, praise him.
Praise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it. The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I am your host, Kathy Miller, and we are talking with Chris Hadome, who's a notary public. His company is My Cayman Notary. You can find them on mycaymannotary.com. And you can give them a call at 925-6119 or email notary@mycaymannotary.com if you are in the need of any notary services. And I want to know, you mentioned a couple reasons. It could be visa applications. It could be kind of business paperwork as to why people might need a notary. But what are the other reasons out there that we would come to you for notary services?
So one of the really unknown ones that people kind of don't even think about is when you're doing a transfer document for a vehicle. One of those things that, you might have to get, like a lot of times you can go to licensing, they'll sign it for you so you can do your transfer, you can give the person over that paperwork. Yeah. A notary can sign that document for you so you don't stand in line. And that's one of the main ones that people don't even think about.
I didn't know that at all.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's a simple one. And it's like, it takes no time at all. And when that came up is when I think the driver's license department, they were doing like an amnesty where people who haven't had their vehicle license in, however long, they were like, hey, we're going to give you some time. And a lot of the reason why people didn't do that is because the person that they got the vehicle from left the island, but they didn't know they had to go and get it signed off. So they were just like, hey, let me sell this vehicle because, in other places of the world, a transfer of title is not necessary. A notary is not required for a transfer of title. But in Cayman, it's a requirement for you to get licensing or a notary sign that this person is transferring the vehicle over to your name. So a lot of people had vehicles that they couldn't transfer, and they had to renew in someone else's name, and they had to get insurance in on someone else's name because the insurance companies aren't going to give you insurance if you don't own the vehicle.
Right.
So it's like this whole knock-on effect. So, I got an influx of people saying, hey, I got this vehicle that didn't get signed over, and you need to notarize it so I can get it transferred. So a lot of times, like even companies that selling vehicles, they will like, hey, can you notarize this document so I can send this vehicle? So like the majority of the requests have been that, just because obviously the Department of DVL is like oversubscribed. You've got a whole bunch of people there. They only have so many staff. So it saves you a lot of time because now you just need to go in, pay your $25, get the transfer done instead of waiting in line.
In fairness, I will say that they've gotten a little speedier with service, which is great.
Yeah.
But with this scenario, because it's not a common one, it's not just licensing a car or something with your driver's license. It's not like that. It's the transfer of ownership, and there's always questions. I had questions a few times I've done it here, and sometimes you are waiting 45 minutes to an hour just to get to the counter to ask, to do your thing, and you get turned away because, and so you're like, I just wasted all this time.
Yeah, and the information
and have to come back and spend that same time.
Exactly, and to their credit, they do try, and sometimes processes change quicker than they can update the website.
Yeah.
So it's hard for them because they're not in control of the website.
Right.
So the only thing they can do is say, hey, sorry, I apologize, but you didn't have to wait in line. You could have did this and you did that. But they're getting there. They're getting there.
They are. They absolutely are. Yeah.
Getting there.
It's taking some weight off their shoulders a little bit.
For sure.
Maybe some money too.
Yeah,
but hey,
there's that.
You have a right to have a business as well.
Yeah,
and make
it's a free market. Yeah.
But that's a great option because time and convenience.
Correct.
So that's what you offer people with something like with My Cayman Notary. But when it comes to the transfer of ownership for a vehicle, I don't have a lot of time to waste at licensing waiting.
Correct.
And you're going to drive me nuts if I go and I have to ask a question and, I get turned around and I have to do things all over again. Like, I will be angry.
Yeah. I mean,
so let me save that and let me,
correct, Correct, yeah. So there's that. There's also like just sometimes affidavits need to get signed. Just regular passport identification certification is one of the main ones, because obviously you need to use your passport to either get a job or a bank account or some sort of government application that requires a certified copy of your passport, because most of the offices don't have the time to go scan it, certify it, and then bring it back to you. You know what I mean? They expect you to handle some of that process. So when you come there, you're just handing off paperwork. So that's one of the main things that would help the application process before you get there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So we know that there's no kind of official requirements to become a notary public. Now, I might become one tomorrow, but in saying that, there might be no official requirements, but you have to be pretty well versed in business.
Yeah, your experience has to speak to like what you're trying to do as a notary. Like a lot of you have to be Cayman was one of the main ones, and then obviously you get references from individuals in the community. Well, obviously you have to have a clean slate, no police record, no prior issues like that. And
okay, so there's some requirements there.
Yeah, I mean they're there, but they're not like stumbling blocks for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? These are easier requirements that you can, like, if you've been your own business owner for 2 or 3 years, you can be a notary. Okay. You know what I mean? It doesn't require that like you don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to be a lawyer, you don't have to be someone high up in your community. You just have to be a human being in Cayman and understand the lay of the law, demonstrate that through your experience in the past, and then when they do their background checks, they can verify the same thing that you know.
Okay, all right. Now, you had mentioned earlier as well about the kind of, I guess, the marketing aspect. You're not really seeing notaries put themselves out there.
Correct.
And if we think about it and how you described how a lot of notaries are either working as a professionally, their prime job is an accountant or a lawyer or something in that kind of field. So, I called it more of a side hustle for them per se, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe they're not putting themselves out there.
Yeah.
They have a pretty good salary, I would say, as well, right?
For sure, yeah.
But for you, it's not a side hustle. This is your business.
Yeah, this is a part of the ecosystem that I'm creating for myself as a part of the whole, business environment that I have. Like,
yes.
I'm all about legacy, and I feel like this is a part of it, and I want to make sure I put my best foot forward, and in the process of creating that legacy, create a way for me to help my fellow people in Cayman and the community to be able to get what they want, level up, without having to be like, oh my God, like, have to worry about gatekeepers that they're not aware of.
Yeah.
If you can reach out to a quote unquote gatekeeper that you're okay with, you're cool with, and have a good rapport with, the process becomes easier because they trust you.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? A lot of times you're going to a notary that you don't even know.
Yeah.
And you're bringing all your paperwork. And sometimes, like you say, they're frustrated because of some other reason, or you have a bad experience because you're not aware of what's going on or what needs to be done. And a lot of times, if as a notary, you have to be empathetic, because a lot of times people come to you, they're doing this stuff for the first time. So you got to be patient, understanding, and be willing to share knowledge, because the more information you give them, the easier your job becomes.
And I think you're helping to build trust that way as well.
Correct. Yeah. They're going to come back to you. They're going to speak to their friends, but hey, this was easy. I didn't have to worry about anything. There was no this, that, the other thing, blah, blah, blah. And that goes a long way.
Word of mouth is the best advertising, for sure. And the recommendations, absolutely. Nothing better than that.
For sure.
But you're also marketing My Cayman Notary.
Yeah.
I've seen some things on Instagram. I'm pretty sure I've seen some ads pop up there.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. I mean, I like that for you. I know it's your company. Yeah, so has that made a difference in attracting clients, or do you hear from other notaries?
I do have. It has made a difference in attracting other clients, because it shows that it's a focal point for them to focus on, like, hey, oh, this person is doing this, so I'm going to be top of mind when the next time they need a notary. They not have to be like, oh yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah.
So you can just reach out, because I've made it that easy. to reach out to me.
The top of mind was super key right there.
Yeah. And that's why, like, you know, Instagram for Cayman specifically is one of the best places. Facebook obviously is, by extension, is one of the best places to kind of get your message out there and just consistently get people moving. And for a long time, I've just been word of mouth. And even though, like, I've had the Instagram page, I've had the website, it's just a lot of it has been word of mouth. But having those focal points, those pieces, people may not necessarily use the website, but they'll remember that you exist.
It works on me. It does. It works on me.
Yeah.
So, hey.
There you go. So, I mean, most of the time, you just, like I say, I always take myself seriously, so others will.
Well, you have to. If you don't, why would I?
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
You know, you got to.
Yeah.
What should somebody bring with them when they're coming to see you for an appointment? And what does a typical kind of appointment with you look like?
So a typical appointment usually starts with, like, you know, hey, Chris, I need this signed. Do you have time today? I'll be like, yeah. And we work out the logistics, and then I'll let them know, hey, what do you need to get signed? You know, I always say I try not. Most times the application is not signed before I get there, and I say that's perfect because I'm supposed to witness it. So if you sign it before it comes to me, then I can't witness that document by law because I didn't witness it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So not signing, filling the document out by for sure. Fill the full document out, but don't sign it and date it before it get there. Make sure your IDs and everything is up to date. They're not expired. One of the main things is the spelling of your name is so important.
Yeah.
You know, people take that for granted. Until I look at the passport, I'm like, is that an L or a D? So, you know, I always try to make sure, like, I use also vet the application form to make sure whatever's on the ID is on the application form. Because I don't want to sign something and then they're like, oh, how come you didn't see that? You know what I mean? I want to be able to give them that security that I'm also helping vet their process before they get vetted again.
Right.
You know, and it saves them time. Saves them a lot of time. And then, like, just being aware of what's required and bring in the supporting documents. Because a lot of times, like, I'll look through the paperwork and I'll be like, hey, it also requires proof of address. Do you have your utility bill? Oh, I don't have that. Oh, can you email it to me? And I'll be like, but I don't have a printer. I'm coming to you. You know what I mean? So a lot of times those kind of things I try to import. Like when I have the first interaction with or engagement with whoever is calling me or needs me, I'll say, hey, do you have these things? Is there anything I can print for you and bring it? Because then, I mean, I have a printer. It doesn't cost me anything to print anything. I got a mobile printer that prints black and white. So if I need to print something for you, you know, by all means, reach out and say, hey, I don't have this, I don't have that. And it's just a part of the service and making it easier.
Yeah, it's a little extra part of the service right there.
There you
Value
go.
added.
There you go.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're wrapping up right now. So you got maybe 30 seconds if you want to let people know anything else about My Cayman Notary. I know I gave your contact, but you can give it again still.
Sure, no problem. My Cayman Notary, call me at 925-6119 or notary@mycaymannotary.com. Or if you want to be official and, you know, use my website, you can also go on www.mycaymannotary.com. Service is easy, efficient, trustworthy. I'm a human too. I won't bite you. You know, just if you want to do an informal thing on WhatsApp, you know, I'm easy.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
Good person. Good vibe.
I try to be.
You are. All right, Chris, thank you so much for joining us on The Buzz this morning. And I don't know, I almost want to challenge you and be like, you know, before the year's out, which we just started, so maybe half year mark, if there's another business that you might be starting.
Yeah, I mean, you
never know.
Hold your breath.
You never know.
You
got some great things going on.
Thank you.
Like to see what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
All right. Everybody have a great Thursday. And don't forget to bet on the Seahawks with your thoughts and prayers, of course. All right. Have a great Thursday.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman. Your car, our passion. And by Dorman Day, celebrating 10 years of opening